Hey, you guys, how are you guys doing and holding up with this whole coronavirus situation? I hope you guys are hanging in there and holding in tight. But I just wanted to share this quick piece of information that I found to me to be perhaps helpful in dealing with the situation. Now, a lot of people are freaking out because Americans are used to freedom and personal freedom, being able to go anywhere at any time. And this is one of the things that's most marvelous about this country. And right now, we're having lockdowns like we're some type of totalitarian system. And I understand people are concerned about what am I going to do? I can't spend time with any of my friends. I feel like I can't spend time with any of my loved ones. This is going to suck. And I understand, and that's all true. However, I do believe it's not good to focus on what you can't do, but rather I believe that it is integral to focus on what you can do. Now, what you can do is, yeah, you can't spend time with other people like you once can. However, you can spend time with yourself. And I know what some of you might be thinking. You want me to spend time with myself? What am I going to do? That sounds boring. That's stupid. Well, no, it doesn't have to be, and let me explain why. I'm sure many of you have possibly heard that humans can only use, or on a regular basis, humans only use a tiny fraction of their brain, correct? With that, you might be wondering, well, how do I tap into the other 90% or whatever that number is? To do that, it actually involves doing, spending time with an activity that involves spending a significant amount of time by yourself. What is that, you might be wondering? Well, that's actually meditation. There's the unconscious brain and there's the conscious brain. But the brain controls all of the actions of the human body, everything from heartbeat to digestions, and it even works on breathing, but breathing could be automatic or it could be controlled. Your conscious mind is everything that you can control, and that's everything you're conscious of, which is like your movements, your sense, and your unconscious mind handles everything else. But your unconscious mind also records almost every piece of information, even information that you can't recall is stored in your subconscious. And many other memories as well as abilities are stored in the subconscious, stored away in the subconscious because, and here's another reasoning, is that every one that's become a top musician, a top athlete, or a top anything at the highest level in the world, anything, they have the same neurons in their brain as you. They've just learned the ability to tap into those neurons and to be able to become the best at them. But you have those same exact neurons in your brain. And if you learn how to tap into those dormant neurons, there's a great possibility that you can accelerate skill development in an area and you could break through plateaus and reach levels of skills that you perhaps did not even think possible. Because the human mind, also along with the power of believing, is extremely powerful. And another reason that I would like to suggest that people spend time on self-development, and this is another activity for self-development, but I believe that everyone should have a creative outlet. A creative outlet is great because we all have, essentially you could say we have logical, objective, fact-based thinking and creative thinking, which is more disorderly and chaotic, and everyone is a blend of the two. But we all need to have a creative outlet because that creative energy, it's like a creative energy, it's a creative flow. It's something that's channeling through us that we need to let out of us. And I believe that everyone should have that because that may also creating something beautiful, something new, may also help you to feel more grounded during this coronavirus epidemic. So highly suggest tapping into your creativity. And tapping into your creativity is also important in this day and age because essentially logical thinking could be programmed. A computer can be programmed to follow the laws of logical decision making criteria, therefore being more accurate and more precise with decision making. Yes, a computer will destroy you at any activity that involves logical decision making as long as the correct parameters are set in the machine. For example, a calculator. Now, a cheap calculator could perform some calculations faster than the greatest mathematicians can a century ago. That's one reason why you should work on developing your creativity, is because the logical decision-making criteria can be programmed. So what can that lead to? That can lead to most jobs that require a significant degree of pure logical thinking could be replaced by artificial intelligence, which then means that your job has the ability to be outsourced. However, jobs that require creative thinking or perhaps intuitive thinking cannot be outsourced. And the reason that they cannot be outsourced is because of how the human creative mind works. The human creative mind works because it is able to access. Remember, I was talking about the unconscious mind earlier? The unconscious mind also is a seat of all information that could be possibly contained within the universe. And I know this might sound a little crazy to many of you, but here's my reasoning for this. The reason that I believe even all the thoughts that we could possibly have in the universe, or ideas that can come to my head, or our head, or whatever, all of that. The reason why I say that it's already in energetic waveform is because everything is energy. If you look at the Big Bang, we all came from energy. And at the same time, the law of conservation of energy, which is a law of physics, states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred from one form to another. Therefore, that energy of that thought form must have existed already. And this is the true power of the creative mind right here. And I've had experiences with this where I meditated and I would have songs that I've never heard before. Beautiful songs just come to my head, fully produced, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, if I could produce this music or translate it to a computer, it would be a hit. But I don't know how to do it. I've never even produced music, but here's music like that coming to my head. There's also been evidence of a famous Indian mathematician who had a dream where a god actually revealed to him a mathematical equation, and he informed his colleagues about this mathematical equation, and they thought that the equation was false because they couldn't prove it to be true. However, after he died, scientists and engineers were able to prove that his equation was actually true and explained many unexplained phenomena in physics. And that came to him in a dream. This is because our unconscious mind is so powerful and profound. This is where we have access to inspiration, knowledge, and many things that we would consider perhaps godlike or higher consciousness. This is a direct path to where you can find evidence of where human greatness might lie. Another example I will point out to just illustrate what I'm saying is that there are people called savants. These people, that are savants cannot function by themselves. They perhaps can't eat, they can't change their clothes. By many people, they would be considered mentally challenged. However, these savants demonstrate extraordinary levels of skill in one area, just one area. For example, they might be able to tell you the weather for every day in the last 10 years, or they might be able to. There's actually a video of a savant flying over New York City one time and being able to draw in high detail an accurate representation of what he saw, which is an amazing skill. But the thing about these skills is they did not work to develop them. They came out with this skill almost perfectly developed to a skill level that no normal human being can attain. And what's most remarkable is these savants still have the same neurons in their brain. Now, the thing about those neurons is that they have a high concentration of neuronal abundance in one specific area. That's why they're so advanced in one area, because all their neurons went to that one area. But because of the flexibility and adaptability of the brain, I'm not sure what the actual term is right now, but it's a term meaning the brain, you're able to change the brain. The brain is adaptable. Because of that, you could actually, through repeated practice and consistency, you could actually redirect where the neurons in your brain fire so you can tap into advanced level skills such as an athlete or musician, because you already have those neurons in your brain that can be fired. It's just about tapping into it. So what I'm just trying to say from this video is, while there's a lot of panic and there is a lot of insanity going on, and the stock market and is one thing, but also perhaps losing some of our civil liberties and personal rights is another negative byproduct. But don't, try not to be part of the problem. Try to be part of the solution. We will get through this. We've been through pandemics before. But imagine going through this pandemic and emerging a stronger, perhaps wiser, more grounded, capable version of yourself. Imagine that. Thank you for watching, and you guys remain safe.